This example is from section 11.5 in MGF 1107 dealing with home mortgages. In this example, a couple found a house selling for $114,500, and the taxes on the house are $1,300 per year, so a little bit more than $100 a month, and insurance is $340 per year. They are requesting a conventional loan from the local bank. The bank is currently requiring a 15% down payment and 3 points, and the interest rate is 10%. The couple's gross monthly income is $4,850 a month. They have more than 10 monthly payments remaining on a car, boat, and furniture, which total $420. Their bank will approve a loan that has a total monthly mortgage payment of principal, interest, property taxes, and homeowners insurance that is less than or equal to 28% of their adjusted monthly income. Based on this information, please complete parts A through G below. Part A says determine the required down payment. Well, recall the down payment for this bank is 15% of the selling price, and the selling price is $114,500. So we want to find 15% of $114,500. So to do that, we have to convert our percentage into a decimal and multiply by the total amount. So on our calculator, we could take 15% as a decimal is 0.15. We want to times that by the buying price or the selling price of $114,500. So their down payment is going to be for $17,175. $17,175. So when they close on the house, they will have to bring a check for $17,175 in order to get the loan. Part B says determine the cost of 3 points. Recall, each point is 1% of the mortgage amount. So 3 points would be 3%. And a point is basically you're paying the interest up front to buy down and get a lower interest rate. Although the interest rate here is 10%, which is clearly pretty high nowadays. So 3 points is 3% of the amount borrowed. So if we go back to our calculator, remember the selling price when it was $114,500, and we want to subtract $17,175 that we're going to pay at closing. So the mortgage amount is for $97,325. And 1 point is going to be 1% of that. So we want 3 points, which means we want to times that by 0.03. So at closing, we'll also have to bring a check for $2,920 because the directions do say round to the nearest dollar. So between the down payment and the points, they're going to have to bring a pretty hefty check to closing. Now part C says determine 28% of their adjusted monthly income. And that's the most the bank wants them to pay in principal, interest, property taxes, and homeowners insurance. So to find their adjusted monthly income, we take their monthly income of $4,850, and from that we subtract any long-term payments, any payments that we have more than 10 months on. So in this case we have a car, a boat, and furniture, with more than 10 monthly payments remaining, and that's a total of $420. So we have to subtract that, and we get their adjusted monthly income is $4,430, and then we're going to take 28% of that. So their adjusted monthly income is $4,430, and we want 28% of that, so we're going to go 0.28 times 4,430. And rounded to the nearest dollar, we get $1,240. So we do not want their monthly payments for their house to be more than that. Now Part D says determine the monthly payments of principal and interest for a 20-year loan. So determine the monthly payments of principal interest for a 20-year loan. Now in this class there are two ways to do that. One way is to use the principal and interest formula, which is a pretty daunting formula, and we are not going to opt for that option. So this is the principal and interest formula to calculate how much their monthly payment would be. But in this course, we are not going to use that method. We are going to use the chart method, which is a much easier method to use to find the monthly principal and interest payment. In order to find the monthly payment, we need to know the interest rate, and we need to know the term of the loan, which I believe it was just indicated 20 years. And then what we do is we take the factor that's in this chart and we multiply it by the number of thousands of dollars that we're borrowing, and that will give us our monthly principal and interest payment. Part of the payment will go towards principal, part of it will go towards interest. So going back to the problem, we want to determine the monthly payments of principal and interest for a 20-year loan. And what we need to know is we need to know the interest rate is 10%, and we need to know how much we're borrowing. So remember, let me clear that. The house is selling for $114,500, and we want to subtract off the down payment of $17,175. So our mortgage will be for $97,325. So if we want to use the table to figure out our principal and interest payment, we need to know how many thousands that we're borrowing. So if we divide our mortgage amount by 1,000, we are borrowing $97.325 thousand. What we do then is we go to our table. We know our interest rate is 10%. And we know it's a 20-year loan. So we go to the correct column for the term length of the loan, and then the correct row for the interest rate, and the factor that is at that intersection is the value that you multiply by the number of thousands that you're borrowing. So we have to take 97.325 and times it by 9.65022. So take 9.65022 and we times that by the number of thousands that we're borrowing, which is 97.325. And if we multiply those two factors together, that will give us our principal and interest payment, our monthly payment on our mortgage, which is $939.21. So for Part D, our answer is $939.21. that is our monthly principal and interest payment without including the property taxes and the homeowner's insurance. Now, of that $939.21, part of it will go towards principal and part of it will go towards interest. So again, our down payment was $17,175. Our 3 points cost us $2,920. Now for Part E, we want to find their total monthly payment, including homeowners insurance and taxes. So recall, the $939.21 was just the principal and interest payment. Now we have to go back to the problem situation that was given, and we have to add the cost of taxes and insurance to our monthly payment. Now, the taxes are $1,300 per year. So to figure out what that is per month, we need to divide that by 12. And the insurance is $340 per year. So to figure out how much insurance is per month, we divide that by 12 months as well. So, for Part E, what we are going to have is we're going to have $939.21 for principal and interest plus $1,300 divided by 12 for taxes plus $340 divided by 12 for insurance. And that will give us their total monthly payment. So we're going to have $939.21 plus $1,300 divided by 12, which should be a little bit more than $100 per month, plus $340 divided by 12, which should be less than $30. And if you add those together, you get a monthly payment of $1,075. And if we round to the nearest cent, as the directions indicate, we get 88 cents. We have to round up. So that is their total monthly payment, which will include principal, interest, and their insurance and taxes. Now, one good thing about that, compare it to the bank's criteria. This relates to the next problem. Determine whether the couple will qualify for this 20-year loan. Choose the correct answer below, yes or no. Well, recall that the bank wanted them to spend at most 28% of their adjusted monthly income, which is $1,240, on their payment for their house. And you notice their monthly payment would be less than or equal to $1,240 because it's only $1,075.88. So yes, they do qualify for the loan because their total monthly payment is less than 28% of their adjusted monthly income. The last part of this question says, determine how much of the first payment on the loan is applied to the principal. Well, to know that, we would have to know how much is applied towards interest. So recall, their principal and interest payment is $939.21. Part of that will go towards principal and part towards interest. Normally in the first 10 or 15 years even of your loan, a majority of the payment will actually go towards interest. And this part of the problem will demonstrate that. Now, in order to calculate this, we have to use I is equal to PRT, the simple interest formula. Now we're only talking about their first payment, so their interest on their first payment will be equal to their mortgage amount times the interest rate, which is 0.10, times the time, which is just 1/12 of a year, because a month is just 1/12 of a year. So going back up top, they bought the house for $114,500, and they put a down payment of $17,175 down. So their mortgage amount was $97,325. So that is the principal, $97,325. And then what we do is we times that by 0.10 times 1/12. And when you times it by 1/12, really you're just dividing by 12. And that will tell you that the interest on that first payment is $811.04. So remember, their payment was $939.21 if you just look at their principal and interest payment. And of that $939.21, $811.04 was just for interest. That's amazing. So the question here says, how much will be applied to the principal? So the principal is going to be reduced by a little bit. So we take $939.21, which was their principal and interest payment, and we subtract the interest, $811.04. That's why banks want to give you loans if you're good for the money, because they're making lots of money off interest. So the $97,325 of principal reduces by $128.17 that first month. $128.17. The rest of the money went towards the interest. So one way to lower your balance on your mortgage is to pay extra each month, since so little of your first many payments goes towards reducing the principal. One way that you could lower the principal faster is pay an extra $50 or $100 each month, and then that will bring down your balance on your loan a little bit faster.